Hey. Why was Godzilla invited to the dance party?
Why?
Because he really knows how to break it down.
Oh, all right. Please, Chris, start the podcast.
What does Godzilla do part-time when he's not destroying cities?
What?
He flips houses.
Oh, God. Oh, my God.
It's Whatcha Watchin. Welcome to Whatcha Watchin, presented by Geeky Go, a show where we dive into what's currently on our screens. Big screens or little screens, size matters not here. Just the quality or lack thereof of our cues. I'm Chris Nitro. Joining me today in the Go are Eric Ho and Anthony Pizzuto. Gents, how are you?
What's up?
What's going on, guys?
Yeah. I'm messing with our Patreon to make it better for our Patreons and patrons. Yeah, thank you. What is a Patreon? That's like a very Roman sounding word. Patreon.
I don't know.
Anyway, no, everything's good. I was in Chicago this week, which was very exciting. I love going to the Windy City, and but I was only there for 24 hours, and then came back to take the family to the airport because they are now off in Paris for spring break, which is really exciting for them. While I'm slumming it here back in Jersey, I go to Orlando for the week tomorrow for a week-long migraine, so looking forward to that. Busy. And I have been working on my latest episode for Made by AP, which is coming out tomorrow. So I've been editing the heck out of that. My lit up DeLorean. Did I show you guys my lit up DeLorean?
I knew about the DeLorean. I didn't know it was lit up.
Oh yeah, it is lit. I will show it off after we're done with the recording, but it's super cool. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. What about you, Eric? What have you been doing?
Orlando, the Paris of the South.
That's not a thing.
I don't know how Paris feels about that.
What did I do this week? Well, the most exciting things was I helped one of the bagel shop near me fix their menu, their digital display menu. That took a solid 2 hours of my life, but I very much enjoyed it now that it's fixed. And I get to benefit from my own work. And I went in yesterday when they were super busy, and he's like, "Come, take all the stuff." And I just went, "No, I'm okay, man." And then I was like, "How are the menus?" So he goes, "So good." And I go, "Okay, cool, good." And I just left. But that was the highlight of my week, I think.
You made that guy's year. Good for you. You did your good deed. You earned your points. You're a good guy, Eric Ho. I don't care what Chris says about
it. It really is out of selfish reasons, in that I did not want to see him putting scotch tape over his TV. So because he didn't know how to update his menu items. But now that's done, I'm very happy that my OCD is not getting the worst of me when I go get bagels in the morning. So that's what I did.
Nice.
Chris, what did you do this week?
I came off my mid shifts. I was not a productive member of society. Just working overnights. So working overnights, sleeping during the day, wash and repeat. That's pretty much what I did. But we did get to hang out, the three of us.
Okay.
And it's spring blockbuster season. This comes out before summer blockbuster season, right? So we the three of us gents got to hang out again a week later, and to watch. And today's topic, Godzilla x Kong, the New Empire.
Kong, Godzilla, they can feel it. Something is coming.
It's not just a signal. That's a call for war.
I don't I don't want to start on this one. I'm gonna let one of you guys start. Anthony, how about you?
Oh, okay. Well, I think it's good that you're starting with me because I am not as much of a Godzilla or MonsterVerse fan as I think you two are, and I think we've covered this in episodes of yore. But I will say I went into it with low expectations. I really went to it just to hang out with you guys, and I'm always down for a good movie, and I love me some popcorn and cherry Coke. That's my jam. And but I will say it was a lot of fun to watch. It was a lot of fun to watch. I think I spent the last 20 minutes of the movie with just a big smile on my face. like my face was hurting by the end of the movie because I was smiling so much. But take us back to the beginning. So the log line for Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire is: two ancient titans, Godzilla and Kong, clash in an epic battle as humans unravel their intertwined origins and connection to Skull Island's mysteries. And it really is, it's a true sequel to Godzilla vs. Kong, where they beat the crap out of each other back in 2021. And now and this is not a spoiler alert at all, because, I mean, you look at the poster and there they are. They buddy up to take on an evil, which we don't necessarily know what it is until about halfway through the movie. But it was a lot of fun to watch. It was a highly visual CGI spectacle, which can always it can be 50-50 when you have one of those highly effects-driven movies, that the special effects can become distracting, but I didn't find that to be the case. The story is the story. I mean, it's a smash and bash, 80s era type of monster movie. But yes, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I will say, and I was mentioning this to Chris yesterday at lunch, they mentioned Mechagodzilla and they mentioned references to the previous films, and I was like, I don't remember these. I think I may have missed something. And so after I came home the other night, I went to HBO Max to find Godzilla v Kong, and I was just like, I'm going to watch it. And I pressed play, and it started at the credits. So I clearly watched it. I have zero memory of this movie, and to the point where I rewound through the entire thing, and I was watching like the thumbnails as you rewind. I'm like, I don't remember any of this stuff. I don't remember Millie Bobby Brown. I don't remember Skarsgård. I don't remember any of this. So I might have to do a rewatch to refresh my memory. Was the last one that bad that I've just scrubbed it from my memory?
I think these movies are just in generally not memorable. It's just very good when you watch it.
So during lunch we did speak about it, and that's exactly my sentiment. Is like it for me. Godzilla versus GVK, that was terrible. It was not. I did the same thing. I was like, there's segments and I thought I did like what I did with Dune. Like I thought I fell asleep to it. I was like, no, I watched this. It was bad, and I scrubbed it from memory. And so I just forced myself to watch GVK again just to refresh myself. And it tried to capture, in my opinion, the original, not the original, 2014, which is the beginning of the MonsterVerse, Godzilla. It tried to capture that, seriousness and whatnot, and I think it just fell flat on its face. Mechagodzilla, garbage. Like, I did not like that version of Mechagodzilla. Everyone knows the classic Mechagodzilla was very robotic, with the fingers that turn into missiles, and this is like this big transformer looking thing, and I'm thinking, what am I watching here? So yeah, that's my setup for GXK was very low expectations, right? I was not expecting this to be good, but again, fan of kaiju films. I love Godzilla. Kong is great. I wanted to support the franchise. Obviously, look what I'm wearing. For those of you who are just listening to this, I'm wearing a Roosevelt's not sponsored shirt that has a bunch of kaiju on it, Godzilla kaiju, I should say. So yeah, but like you, Anthony, I was pleasantly surprised that they brought a lot of humor and lightheartedness into it. So it kind of like evened it out. It wasn't just literally a bash fest. There was some comedy, very low comedy, like slapstick almost, bad jokes kind of thing, which, being a dad, I love. If you listen to any of our intros, tons of bad jokes. So yeah, I think that's where I am with GXK. It was a good film, and we could break into it a little bit more. It was a good film, and I left feeling good. Yeah, good time. Eric.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, it's the same reason why I liked. We've talked about this before. All these other different kind of kaiju films. That is just. I'm just going there for the big smash, situation, so that's great. Some of the actions, and then I think that I really like the buddy cop dynamic that what's his name,
Tyree Henry,
Tyree Henry, and Dan Stevens. Like, those two are hilarious, and that was fantastic. I was hoping for the entire time, trying to, like, I told you guys, I've been watching before on the Apple TV show Monarch Legacy of Monsters, to see if there was any connections. So I was paying attention to that throughout. And then what I was interested also was just what keeps coming back to me as we were watching is, again, we've had 2 back-to-back Godzillas essentially that happened this year. And just how different their approaches are, which I think is great. I think just different take on these kind of different things, and super cheesy, this movie, I felt, but it's about what I expected. There were some nice surprises in the movie that I didn't know was going to happen, which is really, really nice to see, which, in this day and age, again, I love to be pleasantly surprised when I walk into a movie theater and go like, oh, I did not read about this at all. I didn't see this. And there were quite a few of those moments in the movie. So overall, I really enjoyed it. It's exactly what I needed. It's like a great popcorn flicks for us to kind of watch, and I really liked it.
Chris, so Eric shared kind of some of his favorite moments. What were some of your favorite moments of the film?
Oddly enough, and I don't know if this is. Are we gonna do spoilers on this one? I don't know. You know what? We're not.
Yeah.
Okay. I think there's nothing serious here. I don't think we're gonna upset the franchise, or the fans and whatnot by spoiling this. I'm sure everyone who loves Godzilla has already seen it by the time this episode airs.
Wait, so spoilers okay? We're gonna go for it now?
We're going for it. We're going in this episode.
Okay, we're going for it. Okay. All right, go.
The whole tooth extraction sequence. That was the first time I literally like chuckled out loud or laughed out loud in the theater. I was like, this is fun. Like, the music.
Yeah.
It was just. I was like, what is like, they're literally extracting a tooth. I was like, oh, and he's like, I'm done. I need your help. I'm just gonna lay here, do whatever you have to, get this thing out of me. So yeah, that whole thing was just, that scene was perfect for me.
Yeah.
It was a Kong scene, so the my favorite Godzilla scene, again, funny. Just hanging out in Italy.
yeah, taking a nap.
So good.
It's a cool spot. I'm just gonna, stay over here for a while, and went back to it, in which I was like, oh, this is funny. This is really funny. And the police, the Carabinieri showing up, like, what are we gonna do about this? Like,
it's like, why is he back? I got, by the Chris, to your point, the tooth extraction thing, Dan Stevens fit into this movie so well that I started wondering. I was like, was he in a prior like episodes? And I'm like, no, he wasn't. But like, he all of a sudden, this veterinarian just showed up fixing Godzilla's tooth, and he seemed like he was part of the universe, which I thought was they didn't really try really hard to introduce him. You just feel like he was always there. and I love that. I thought that was really, really cool.
That's a good point. I had no idea. I thought he was in the other one that I have no recollection of ever watching. So that's interesting. I had no clue.
Mm-hmm.
Because Brian Tyree Henry was in the last one, as well as Rebecca Hall, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And Kaylee Hoddle, she was in the last one too, right? Because they discover her or bring her to the.
Is this the same actress?
Yep.
Yeah.
She was a little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean some things that I wanted to touch on, and I don't know if you guys have heard this because you haven't been following along, but the grumblings when the first trailer dropped. I mean, we talked about it a little bit in the previous episode. The glaring thing was pink Godzilla. Everyone was like, "Oh, they're just trying to jump on the Barbie bandwagon and this and that and the other thing," and I'm like, having watched it, now it makes sense. Like, I totally get it because we know he absorbs nuclear energy, and we always assume the color. I'd have to poll you guys. What color do you associate with radiation?
Green.
Green, right?
Yeah.
All right, because I know, having seen nuclear reactors on YouTube and stuff like that, it's blue. The light is blue, so it makes sense that when he absorbs nuclear energy or radiation, his fins, his spine, I don't know what you want to call it, they're blue, all right, and his atomic breath is blue. But yes, he goes and he absorbs another Titan, as they call him in the films. He absorbs their powers, and that Titan happened to be pink. You know, maybe he just eats a lot of krill, and like a flamingo. So yeah, that's Titan. That. What was it? A Titan to Barb? Maybe trying to catch the female audience. Who knows? I don't mind pink Godzilla. It's not like he's staying pink forever. And even if he did, who cares? It's color. He's still badass, king of all monsters. And then the running thing was weird. Like, seeing Godzilla run, I was like, Godzilla doesn't run. Yeah.
Godzilla saunters. He just kind of like walks over. Yeah. And like, okay, I'm going to blow this up. I'm going to step on this. Yeah, he doesn't run. That was a little uncomfortable for me as well.
Yeah.
It was really cool when I saw him jump like down the Strait of Gibraltar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they did this like air like from the underneath, and it's almost like it looks like a real animal jumping into the water, which I thought was really, really nice.
I mean, he's, and I don't know why I've never noticed it before, but his gills.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
Maybe because they're really prominent because the pink, but it was funny to like he swims a lot, and I was like, he's like Michael Phelps, like, just, I'm gonna dive into this and get the gold medal. Like, he had great form, jumped into the ocean, and just swimming off into the deeps, like Finding Dory, right? Just keep swimming, just going and go to the next place. So yeah, any other grumblings and groans that you guys heard from all the fans when trailers dropped you wanted to address?
I don't think so. I think it's been, it's interesting because there's been so many trailers but I for some reason just not paid attention to it at all. Yeah. Like, I haven't paid attention to the trailer. I haven't paid attention to what people are saying about it because I knew fans are always going to be hating. And so I didn't pay attention to all that.
Well, and what's interesting is, so I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes, and so I have it for -1, V-Kong, and X-Kong. And so this is obviously opening weekend. It previewed on Thursday. It opened on Friday. I don't have any box office info from Box Office Mojo right yet. But, so Godzilla X Kong currently has a 55% on the tomato meter, but a 92% audience score.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's interesting, and I feel like this has happened with the last several movies that we've reviewed or the Whatcha Watchins that we've done is critics. I don't know what's wrong with critics these days, but nobody seems to like anyone that's billed as a critic doesn't seem to like anything these days. But audiences love it. I think the same thing with Ghostbusters. Critics hated it. Audiences loved it.
The saying "everyone's a critic" is always negative. Always, right? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, everyone's a critic, everyone loved it. No, it's when you say everyone's a critic, it's like everyone's panning this, and because that's what critics do, they just fester on negativity. Maybe it drives people to go see it because it's like, oh, we're gonna prove the critics wrong. This is a great film. We're gonna go see this. I'm with Eric on this. Is like, I knew I was going to watch this. Like, I don't need to see the trailers. There's no
Right.
convincing me. We've learned that just because it's in the trailer doesn't make it into the final cut. Like, just watch the film for what it is.
And so, and to that point, the stereotype of the movie critic is, oh, art house, that's how cinema should be, blah, blah, blah. And, so Godzilla -1, which in essence is an art house type of film, right? Got a 98% fresh from the critics' tomato meter and a 98% audience score compared to a Hollywood smash and grab, spectacle, so to speak. Critics hate that. And so, poop. Sorry, we'll beep that out. They hate that stuff. But audiences really enjoy it, especially when you go in expecting that. All of these Godzilla, the Legendary Pictures Godzilla movies are just that. They're spectacles. They're these great IPs that are being brought back to life. They're now teaming them up together to battle each other and to battle other evil forces. And so you go into these types of movies expecting not to leave intelligent, smarter, or intellectually at a higher level than you first came in. You're going in to be entertained and enjoy it, not to be retrospective. You're there to have just a good old time and spend the last 20 minutes with a big old smile on your face and hear the audience applauding behind you. Like, that's what these movies are about. You go to Godzilla -1 for the spectacle, yes, but there's also a really great story tied to it. And it's not about the monster. It's about the people. And that's what's great about Godzilla -1, because you get a little bit of the monster, you get a little bit of a great story, all packaged up in a nice presentation. So, and it shows from the scores, 98% for both tomato meter and audience score for -1. And audiences, again, really seem to be enjoying X Kong. So, good job, Godzilla.
I was very excited when what's that monster's name? Shimo showed up on screen, because I was like, oh my god, Ice Godzilla is here. And I lost it, and I know half the theater lost it, and that was amazing. So
yeah,
that was
I do, you know what?
Really cool.
I do have something for a spoiler thing.
Okay,
it's a future prediction, but we'll save it for the after party.
After party, okay, cool. Oh, good. We're sticking with after party instead of after dark. I like after party much better.
Yes. After dark sounds like an HBO thing at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah. What was that?
Do they still have those?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think that's all reserved for like Cinemax and Showtime now.
Yeah.
Geeky a Go-Go and the Red Shoe Diaries. So, do we think that we will see a Godzilla Kong team up again? Are they going to go back to hating each other and fighting the good fight against each other? What do you think we're going to see from the MonsterVerse that's not spoiler related down the line?
I don't think they're going to do this again. I think they dropped something in the movie. I think it's going to be one of those Avenger-like situations where when there's something so bad, that's when they're going to team up again. Because in the movie, they talked about how, and I forgot what it is, but they say Godzilla protects a certain part of humanity, and then Kong protects another part. Like, there's a division of labor that the two are supposed to have. This was an extraordinary circumstance in which why the two came together. I don't think the two will come together often again in the future, and I just don't know what story you can keep on telling with these two giant monsters showing up.
Right.
I hope they just come up with a better title, because everyone was confused about how do you say this. Like, did they just not like the is it called an ampersand? It is called an ampersand, right? Did they just not like the ampersand? Did they not want to say Godzilla and Kong? Is that what it was? Like,
yeah.
it's the putting an X on things was it the 90s, the early 2000s?
Next thing you know, they're gonna start dropping syllables.
Yeah. They're not even. It'll just be GK.
GK. But it does make it hard. Like, you really have to, enunciate the X Kong so it doesn't come out as X Con.
Right.
Maybe that'll be the next movie, Godzilla X Con, and he's on a flight. And Nicolas Cage breaks him out to go break into the White House.
Get it? Con Air.
Kong Air.
Kong Air. Kong Air. Yes. Spoiler alert. Hashtag heard it here first. Smash those like and subscribe buttons. All right. Any last thoughts on Godzilla X Kong before we go off into the sunrise?
Rating.
Right.
I'll give it a 3.5 disco balls.
Whoa! Really?
Yeah. I'm not like. There's a part of me like I really like a good story. This is not a good story. This is literally just smash and grab, and I know Eric's gonna say, I see him smiling already. This is not the point of this, right? This is literally a Michael Bay. Here's special effects. Go watch it in the movies. Eat your popcorn. Have your cherry Coke. I fully support that, and that's why I'm giving it the half. Right? Okay. It would be a solid 3 if it wasn't for that. It's almost it's like a 3.75. I don't, but we'll keep it standard, right? So 3.5 disco balls for me.
All right, Eric.
All right. Well, I'm gonna. I think I will do 3.75. Maybe a 3.80 situation. I feel like I've been too generous with the Force in the last few days, but again, to me, this is exactly what I expected. This is it's like me going to see Pacific Rim. I'm not really expecting anything out of this entire thing. I'm not expecting a story. I'm not expecting, and then so they gave me all these actions that I'm looking for. So, solid 3.8 maybe is what we're gonna give this one.
You're going to mess up the algorithm. I don't know how to code that. Well, I'm very loose with my disco balls, so I am going to give it a solid 4. And this shocks me because, again, I'm not a huge Kong
All
guy.
right, I revised mine. 4. Okay, go ahead, Anthony.
Thank you. All right. But I had no expectations going into it. I was even like, I don't even really want to see this one. I want to see like the horror movie that what's the one with Sydney Sweeney that just came out. But I'll go see it because I get to hang out with the boys and get my popcorn and have a good time. And I just left really enjoying the movie. Again, for what it is. It's a movie where you do not overthink. You're not going to leave smarter. You just have a good old time. And I got to tell you, I think the audience helped because we had a really good audience. Like, we were in the front of the theater and in the back of the theater. I didn't realize how many people were in the theater. There was clapping and laughing, and everybody was just having a grand old time. And I think when you boil it all down, this movie is about just having a grand old time. Like Chris said, it's a Michael Bay spectacle, visual effects, smash and grab. So yeah, I'm at the four disco balls on this one.
Which, by the way, I love when I'm in movie theaters and someone in the back of the movie theater goes, "Oh snap!" And I'm like, "Yes, that's exactly how I feel, man."
Exactly.
Yeah. I like when audiences are vocal like that, in a good way. Not like talking in movie theater, but like really add to the experience of like, "Oh, no, he didn't," and it's like, "Oh yeah, oh he did."
Oh my god.
All
right.
Before we forgot. Before we take us out.
Oh yeah.
I'll let Anthony.
All right. So
Anthony, you go ahead and do it.
Oh boy. Okay.
I'll be the model.
All right. So our friend Chris here got a poster for going to the opening of Godzilla X Kong. Somehow, Eric and I didn't get one when we all went to the preview on Thursday night, but whatever, Cinemark. Anyway, so if you would like to win this awesome Real D 3D Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire poster, what is that, 11 by 17?
I have no idea. I didn't measure.
Yeah, 11 by 17. Then leave us a comment in the post on Facebook for this episode, and tag a friend, because we want everyone to be aware of this. So tag a friend on the episode announcement post and leave us a comment that you want that poster, and tell us how many disco balls you give Godzilla X Kong if you saw it. All right? And we hope to see our comments flood in, and we would love to give that beautiful poster to one of our amazing listeners. Do you want more Geeky A Go-Go? Well, make sure you're following us on all the socials at Geeky A Go-Go and share with us what you're watching. Did you see Godzilla X Kong? Well, let us know in the comments and give us your disco ball rating. Want cool stuff? Want to connect with us on a higher level? Head on over to patreon.com/geekyagogo and support the show. You'll get awesome swag and other perks. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you're following the show on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review. Thanks so much for listening, and you stay geeky, Internet.
Bye.
Bye.